first book, Katie, you had 108 archetypes explaining personality. What's the difference in your third book? Who are they?
Who Are They came about from hundreds and hundreds of people saying, okay, I know what my archetypes are, what do I do with it? And we thought, okay, what we need is to make it a bit more condensed. It's too much for people. 108 archetypes isn't for everyone. Mind people like it, but it's not for the non-mind people. So we've got 33 archetypes now, plus the child. And I thought what I'd do is write some case studies, some real-life stories of people with those archetypes. So you could see how they relate, how they process, how they get on in life, and the difficulties they face. So the stories are all very different. Some of them are funny, some of them are really sad, some of them are quite confronting, but they're all true. So they're quite entertaining themselves. Then I've put in how this archetype gets into trouble. So you can watch the steps that they take. You know when people get self-destructive and they keep sabotaging themselves and you just want to give them a smack? Well, this lists all those things of how that happens. So they can see it and you can see it. Because this is primarily about how can we help others that we know, who are in our life, who we love, who we care about, help them when they're struggling to get back to their best. But if you don't know what it is and you can't name it, you're stuck. So that's what we're wanting to do. The archetype, this book also says some of the potential health struggles they have. Each archetype has got a tendency towards particular health problems. So I've listed those. It's also got what the deepest fear of that archetype is and the underlying agenda. The things that may be unconsciously motivating them to do things, to be self-destructive or proactive, that they're not aware of. And I think whenever you're conscious of things, your choices and your empowerment just goes through the roof. And then finally what this gives you is career options, the best career choices if you've got that archetype, and then what to do, the tips of how to handle those people. For instance, a Mars person, which is a bit like a Shane Warne, Patrick McEnroe, a rock and roll person, a motorbike person, whatever. It's very sporty, physical. What you have to do for those people is be very tender to them. They need lots of sex because that makes them feel loved and appreciated. They also need to be the head of the house. They need to feel like they're the breadwinner and no one's trying to take over their territory. Or they get very argumentative, a bit paranoid that people are attacking them. So to understand those sorts of people and to know how to treat them is just so helpful in relationships. So this book is full of that with the 33 most dominant and common archetypes. And from that, you can work out your 6 archetypes or the 6 archetypes for your kids and your partner. And then when you add up the lights of those 6, that names your purpose and what you're here for. And so we think it's a really fun book, really accessible book, and a really good book for making a difference.
So this book would be really good to use with your children, with your teenagers, a parenting manual.
They love it. They find the stories really easy to understand. And they say, that is me. No one has a problem owning their archetypes because there's no bad archetypes. They've all got a shadow and they've all got a light. But we often know our shadows a lot better than we know our light side. And so this always names what the greatest potential of that archetype is. And it helps you to step up. And I find that when we work with people, we're about helping them understand and believe in their dreams. And archetypes validate the dreams. Often I work with people, teenagers coming in, and within an hour I can say, I reckon that you'd be really good at this. And they say, you know what? I always thought maybe I'd like to. Or I always wondered if I could. And then the doubts have taken over. And then they say, but I've got evidence now. Those archetypes say exactly that. You could do this, this and this. So then they step out and they start making it happen. And there's a light that goes on. And I just love that. It's such a privilege to work with people in this way.